Hey guys, this is Connor with Conquest HP. This video is about Justin Trudeau's gun ban, which happened just last week, I think, but it comes on the heels of a mass shooting in Nova Scotia. And essentially, the gun ban was promised to be a ban on, as Trudeau said, military style assault weapons, I believe was his terminology, which is just laughable in and of itself, but that's beside the point. Guns are a controversial thing. Gun control is a controversial thing. I understand why, because guns kill people. They're used to kill people. They're used to perpetrate crimes. They're used in mass shootings. I totally get that. There should be a bipartisan kind of element to this, and there are actually, for Canadians, there are a few bipartisan elements. The first one is that we need to demand better from our politicians, especially our politicians at the very top, like Trudeau. When you ban military style assault weapons, he banned 1,500 different weapons or something like that. He's banning legal firearms, which are held by licensed firearm owners, aka the people not committing gun crimes in Canada. He's banning their weapons. To rephrase, he's banning the weapons that aren't responsible for the mass shooting. He's banning weapons that aren't responsible for the gun violence in Canada. He's not banning the weapons that are going to prevent future gun violence in Canada. That should be a bipartisan thing. Even if you hate any kind of guns, even if you think no one should ever own guns because they're too dangerous to have, or whatever it might be, when you have a mass shooting and you don't want to have more mass shootings, wouldn't you want your politicians to act in a way that's going to actually prevent future mass shootings? Because the way that Trudeau has acted here, his gun ban is not going to do anything to prevent future mass shootings. Nothing. Nothing. This most recent mass shooting was the crimes are committed with illegal firearms. I believe they're illegal firearms that came into the country from the United States, which, I'm not making a big point of that. I'm saying this guy didn't own licensed firearms. They weren't legally purchased firearms. In other words, Justin Trudeau's gun ban wouldn't do anything to prevent this guy from having weapons. If that doesn't bother you, like what are you actually fighting against here? No one wants to have more mass shootings. No one wants more people to die. I don't even own guns. I don't even plan on owning guns. I don't even necessarily think that people need to own the quote unquote assault rifle, which is a ridiculous term, but I think that if they want to own it and they can be responsible with those weapons, then they should have them. And I think if you saw licensed gun owners that owned a very specific type of weapon committing mass shootings and committing the gun crime, by all means ban that. What I would like to see is a government that sees an atrocity like this, sees the actual problems behind that atrocity and tries to fix those problems. That'd be great. Rather than a government that sees this as an opportunity to do something that looks good and essentially buys a vote for the next election. Because that's what they're doing. I saw so many people on social media and even talked to people in person that were all in favor of this gun ban. I thought it was ludicrous. It is not designed, the gun ban is not designed to prevent the kind of gun crime we have in Canada. Period. Full stop. It's ridiculous. So it shouldn't be the thing that we're focused on, is what I'm trying to say. This mass shooting in Nova Scotia, it's a horrible tragic thing. No one's going to disagree about that. This shooter was on a shooting spree for something like 13 hours. He was killing people for 13 hours. He was driving around, I believe, in a police car or an RCMP car, and he had a police or an RCMP uniform. None of those are problems. None of those aren't things that we can prevent. There's nothing we can do to prevent that kind of problem. That's how he was able to go on a shooting spree for 13 hours. That's not ridiculous. That's not something that we should target. He had illegal weapons. Wouldn't it be great if we could stop illegal weapons from coming into the country? Or maybe from illegal weapons changing hands? These are the weapons that are by and large responsible for almost all of the gun crime in Canada. Wouldn't it be great if we did something to prevent those firearms from entering the country or changing hands? I think that would be perfect. In fact, we already have programs for that. And instead of beefing up those programs and giving them more of a budget, Trudeau has chosen to punish people that had nothing to do with the crime, which is legal licensed gun owners. What about the other aspects of this that are harder to fix? They don't give you the same instant gratification. You can't just ban mental health issues. But clearly, if someone goes on a 13-hour shooting spree, they have mental health issues. I think that's pretty safe to say. Why don't we have some kind of measure in place, or some kind of promise that we're going to look into those things? We're not like the politicians here are just trying to make themselves look good. Trudeau especially, just trying to make himself look good in the wake of a disaster. Like, people are mourning. It's a horrific thing, and he has used this to further himself politically and to look good while not doing anything to prevent it in the future. That's disgusting. And whether you're a liberal or a conservative or a communist or whatever you are, I don't care. It's disgusting. And if he was actually using this opportunity to do something that would prevent future crimes like this, great. But he's not. More disgusting. Lastly, a bipartisan thing that just drives me nuts here. He's passing this gun ban without asking anyone about these weapons. He decided this along with his close confidant, and there's nothing to vote on. There's no way to resist it. The opposition parties don't get any say in this. Nothing. It's a unilateral decision. That doesn't bother anyone. What happens in the future with future disasters or future shootings or something like that? What's going to be next? We've had other attacks in Canada where people have used cars as weapons. It's not that different from Trudeau seeing someone take a car down a sidewalk and take out a bunch of people and then banning cars without anyone voting on it. It's not that different. More people would be affected, but it's the same exact argument. We should all be concerned with a politician who is doing something to gain himself political power and political favor and look good in front of people, and he's doing it while taking away the freedoms of some of our citizens. Just because it's not you in this particular case doesn't matter. He's taking away the freedoms of some of our citizens who had nothing to do with the crime in the first place, and he's doing it without the consent of anyone else in government apart from him and his close confidants. That is a huge problem. That's the story we need to be talking about right now. And then we need to be talking about how to actually prevent these crimes, these mass shootings and gun crime of any kind in the future, rather than just spinning our wheels and trying to make ourselves look good and feel good in this moment. That's kid stuff. All right, I hope you guys like this video. I probably will write a whole bunch more about this on conquesthp.com, because if you can't tell, I got kind of fired up about it. So if you like it, please like and subscribe. If you don't like it, you probably know how to unsubscribe or leave a nasty comment or do whatever you want. And I'll talk to you guys again soon.